Hi, Howard Friend here. Just want to talk you through my Tripwire and Eurodollar intraday system, both of which you can gain access to on TRIPWIRE. So let me first of all share my screen, and we'll go through some of the performances. So Tripwire, first of all, that's the main system that I use. It's got a couple of different entry methods. One is a low volatility breakout, which I call NBO. And another one is a false breakout, which I call FBK. And there's another one, which is FBN, which is another kind of component. So it can enter on one of three of different components, okay? And it's applied to 5 currency pairs: euro dollar, sterling dollar, dollar yen, euro yen, and sterling yen. So on any given day, we could have maybe 1 or even 2 trades pop up, sometimes more, depending on how active the market is. But it's quite a low frequency strategy. So it doesn't happen necessarily every day. But when it does happen, you can get some pretty good trading setups. Now, when it enters a trade, it holds for usually 1.5, maybe 2 days maximum, because essentially the move that I'm trying to capture with this system, it unfolds over 1 to 2 days. So in this case, this is a trade that was taken on June the 11th on euro dollar. It bought euro dollar on the NBO strategy, and then it automatically calculated 2 profit target levels, PT1 and PT2, and a stop loss. So we knew exactly where we were going to get out of the trade, whether it's a losing trade, because many of the trades can be losing, or whether it's a winning trade. Now, as I say, we exit at PT1 and PT2. Each of those is for 33.3% of the position, 1/3 each. So once we've hit PT2, we still have 1/3 of the position left over. And that's carried over until the time exit kicks in at the end of the next session. Okay. So here, entered long, boom, take profit, boom, take profit next day, hold it, hold it, hold it, up it goes, and then take the final profit at the end of the next day. So that's the ideal kind of trade for Tripwire. So that's euro dollar on the 11th of June. It did nothing on the 13th, on the 14th, 15th, 16th, nothing there. And then it took a short position on the 17th of June, where it took some profits here at PT1, held the position all the way through, and then it exited at the trailing stop. Okay, so it made a bit of money on the short position there. I think there was one more trade, which was a small losing trade, which came the next day. So that was the end of the last few trades. I don't think it's done anything since then. So this is where we are now. We had a gap down today on the news over the weekend. So that's euro dollar. Euro yen has had a particularly good a trade on Thursday, Friday. Started off with a losing trade in the Asian session here, lost a bit of money, but actually went long. So it reversed from short to long. So long, first target there, boom, hold it into the close. Next target here, boom, again. So 2/3 of the position has been taken. Now, just 1/3 left, and the last one was taken out on the time-based exit. So pretty good trade there for euro yen. Unfortunately, we missed some of the ramp up that we saw today, but a lot of that was obviously news related after the weekend. We've seen a continuation there. Moving on to dollar yen, a similar kind of idea there, where it went long on Thursday, held it into the close, and all the way through the sideways action here, and then take profit here and exit on the time-based exit here. So again, because the yen has been particularly weak, we missed out on a bit of profit there, but not to worry. And sterling yen, again, similar kind of idea there. It went short on Thursday, took a loss, went long, boom, profit target there, boom, profit target there, into the close, into the next day, and then Friday night, take the profit. So quite a good trade all told. Sterling dollar, let's see, just going back, there was a good short position last week. This was on the 17th of June. It went short, take profit, and then closed out on the trailing stop. So did quite well there. So shame it missed that last bit, but that's just the nature of the beast. And then there was a small short position there that was taken, but a very, very small loss. So that's not the end of the world. So that's really what the systems were doing last week. So let's just talk quickly about some of the historical performance on these systems. So I've got basically back tests that go back to, 20 years really, 2005. And what you're looking at here is an equity curve of sterling dollar doing tripwire system all the way through. So you can see a nice kind of upward trend in the equity curve. We get the occasional drawdowns where the profits get given back, but eventually it comes back up. And you can see here, this is where we are now. We had a bit of a drawdown from the start of the year, January into mid-March, but from that point onwards, the system has been making money, and we're very, very close now to making an all-time high for equity. Okay, so that is sterling dollar. Let's move on to euro dollar. So euro dollar, same kind of 20-year history. So again, you can see a nice upward equity curve. And obviously there are drawdown periods where the system loses money. That's just natural. That's part of the game. So long periods of making money, losing money for a little bit, making money, losing money, making money, and so on. And this is where we are today. Again, a bit like sterling, we're very close to all-time highs on equity because it's had a nice little run over the last month or two. Moving across to euro yen. So euro yen, let's just get a closer look at that one. So euro yen, let's see. That one's been in a bit of a drawdown lately. It just comes through now. So you can see a nice, again, same kind of nice upward equity curve. A biggish drawdown back here, and then up you go. And again, we're getting a similar kind of drawdown perhaps to this one. But in terms of how deep it is, not very deep. It's just more kind of time-based. But it's this one, I think, again, a bit like back here. Eventually, we'll turn around and we'll start to make new highs for this one. So this is like a bit of a pullback in an uptrend. Okay, let's just move on to the next one, which is dollar yen. So dollar yen is just on the verge of making new highs for equity there. It's been pretty good all the way through, most of the way through. And finally, we'll look at sterling yen, which, again, that should come through very shortly. Sterling yen should come through very shortly. Let's just pull that up. Okay, so sterling yen, similar kind of picture there, where we're just literally below, just a little bit below all-time highs for equity. But you can see that there are drawdowns along the way where the system gives back some money, but eventually it swings higher and starts to make money again. So these green dots are when the system is making new highs for the whole equity. Okay, so you can see that Tripwire, it works quite well on these markets. Sometimes, you know, it's losing a bit of money, but for the most part, it tends to be making money. Okay, so it's not a bad strategy. And I always trade the system on all of these 5 pairs at the same time, because obviously when one system is losing money, the other systems should be making money. So that's really how the whole thing works. And if you trade them all together, then the dips on your equity curve are not as deep as on the individual equity curves. So that's Tripwire. We'll just quickly move across to the other one, Eurodollar intraday. That one wasn't particularly active last week. We had, I think, a small losing trade on the 17th here. So it went short and got stopped out. But before that, there were actually, that's a winning trade there. There are 2 losers there. But before this point here, there were actually 10 consecutive winning trades, 10 winning trades in a row, which is quite fantastic, really. There's one right there. There's another one right there. And so on. That's a win. That's a win. That's a win. That's a win as well. And so on. So again, it does something a little bit different to Tripwire in that it's more based on intraday activity. And these pink bars on the chart you'll see are kind of like the Asian session. So it works around the Asian session. So it's that kind of thing. And just a quick look at the equity curve on this one. This one goes back to 2015. 10 years, and you can see a nice upward equity curve there. So again, as with Tripwire, you'll get these kind of drawdowns every so often where the system loses money, but ultimately the system's a good system. The profits come in eventually. That's what's happened, and that's what I expect should continue to happen. And recently we've pumped up to new all-time highs for equity, but yeah, a little bit of, we're just a fraction below the high. So that's just a brief overview of how the systems work. So hopefully you will learn how to use these systems yourself on Tradify. What I do is I teach you all of the rules to these systems, and I teach you how to apply them. I teach you the money management techniques, how you can apply them to your own trading. So once you've gone through my course, you will know exactly what I know. You will know everything about how these systems work, and you can apply them in your own trading. So hope to see you as a member of Tradify on one of the courses. Take care.